Hey you guys, it's MJ from Alta Love. How are you? So it's taken a couple days for me to get here where I'm sharing the November intuitive energy update. And some of you may be experiencing some pretty powerful energetic shifts, obviously resulting in a shift in perspective and navigating new territory and I suppose integrating more aspects of ourselves along the way, along the journey. So collectively speaking, what I'm feeling again is just this next level awareness of emotions and again kind of shining light into deeper areas of darkness and corruption in the broader political field, with corporation and business. These ideas of the false flags have a lot to do with triggering collective energy bodies into that fight-flight response. So depending on where we are on the planet, this is why the work is so important, to keep ourselves clear, to keep ourselves grounded in the energy of our own loving nature, our own light-filled awareness as conscious creators, so that we're not feeding that paradigm. We're not feeding those attacks, ultimately. Like, if you imagine just being an innocent being and then externally being attacked by visions of violence and visions of war, and talking in jargon that's quite kind of confusing and muddled about the economy or politics or this or that, it kind of instills and creates a mass kind of feeling of being unsettled, feeling of being frightened. And hence the busyness, so why we need to keep ourselves busy as workers in that system is because once we start to open up our field, energetically speaking, emotionally speaking, integrating all of those energies is quite a powerful experience. And so, but the more as a humanity and as a collective we awaken to the realization that we are the ones that must do the work to endeavor the new world, plus we're at a point in our timelines where there's like intersections in the new codes. So in some of my visions, I'm getting a lot of connection to different star systems and how they're very anchored here, and seeing kind of light bubbles connecting to other light bubbles and anchoring into the collective, which is sort of one and the same as how we see the shining light into the darkness, shining light into the chaos, seeing very clearly the environmental crises and just bombarding it with light, right? So that it becomes undeniable to the masses that this change must happen from within us, because at one point that science and spirituality are meeting at the same time. There's sort of many different channels with which people are accessing the idea of higher consciousness, self-responsibility, meditation, yoga, spiritual practices, with the intellectual and scientific wisdom that takes us into that new paradigm. It really is like our beingness in relationship to this reality is being upgraded. The way we can understand computers working, our own circuitry is shifting with this collective agreement of experiencing a shift of frequency in body. And I guess another perhaps useful meditation technique is what I'm getting, and this may or may not be specific to women, but I'm certainly aware of it as a woman, to be in that kind of area of the womb. That's the sacral chakra. But let's leave that, because I'm pretty sure this is probably relevant for a few of you anyway. So I'm getting a kind of meditation of the sacral chakra. Usually just still scanning the whole, the whole being and connecting the different chakra points, but quite significant connection with the sacral, the heart, and the inner eye. And so these kind of vortexual bubbles are kind of becoming more unified and connected as we integrate the energies, which is why we're starting to see a collective shift around sexuality, love, romance, relationship. People are confused, basically. They don't know. All they know, a lot of us, or a lot of the collective waking up, all they know is that what the path or the program they were meant to follow isn't working for them anymore. So hence, some of us getting these intuitive guidances and these senses of anchoring in the energy, there's some deeper recognition and knowing of almost like holding hands to continue to anchor it down as more and more people start to shift, and then just needing kind of loving, compassionate guidance to work through the energetic shift that continues, as we know, once those awakenings start to happen. And then it just continues to be like a ripple effect, like we talk about waves of energy. And certainly more in tuned, like just riding them, feeling like we're riding the energy waves. It's pretty undeniable in my experience now. And there's no attachments really left. And the ones that are, there's a clear vision of their release as well. So leaders are now really having to step into their sovereignty. And then a kind of rise of compassionate leadership is going to start to become more obvious. And that will again be kind of reflecting and bouncing back the polarity and the contrast of the collective agreements that are starting to really break apart and shift. So I do feel like I will probably continue to get guidance about the economy and how that looks, and why there will be kind of continuing uprising and people, well, yeah, rising, and that's rising up and kind of claiming their inherent sovereignty as beings on this planet. And again, that's one and the same in dissolving the kind of corrupted, distorted energetic densities that are here, that don't have, I guess you could say, the right to be here. Although it's all good. Because the deeper the light goes, and this is something that there's a few of you, including Lunash, talking about it, is that the light is just beyond, right? Everything. It's like it can shine everything out, shine everything away. So anything that doesn't align with that kind of love, light, truth within the sovereignty beings accessing into that heritage or into that frequency, nothing fearful holds against it. And, you know, it's really beautiful because it's just peaceful. And, like, you know, the meditation is just where it's at. So as long as we can remember to just keep meditating and just keep trusting and having faith and knowing that we're protected and loved and guided, and, like, that's the divine. That's the kind of merging with the miraculous. It's that you're... And it's all so paradoxical because it's like your egoic grip on controlling the external reality dissolves because the miraculous nature of you, the more you trust it, just takes over, and you're like, oh yeah, this is how life is supposed to be. And then that kind of joyfulness of creatorship and intensity and the ups and downs and energies, right? But the more we embrace that and own that and fulfill that in our beingness, the more we continue to be guided, and then the more the manifestation are amazings, and then life keeps getting better, and and then of course you want to keep manifesting and owning your shit and transforming it, and you know, moving above and beyond where you ever imagined possible, and at the same time continuing to sit with one's own shit, because one's own shit is only ever where it's at. And when we can come back to ourselves, and when we can come into that space of clarity and come into that place of ease and come into that place of relaxation, we realize that really all is well. And there's no need to try to control, manipulate. There's no need to try to lie, right? And this is all part of it, like continuing transparency and honesty, and like continuing the, the dialogue is always from within oneself. It is the realization that you are the only visionary in your world. You are the only one creating it, right? So it's that deep knowing that the more we connect to that, and the more we connect to that, it just continues to more and more take over, where life is grace. Life is abundant. Life, or abundance. Life is, you know, and this is the thing, like life in its experience with the totality of its depth and expanse is deep and dark too, and mysterious and crazy and fucked up, and like, but of course it would be for us to have this total life experience. If we have created a portal of finite recognition where we are born and then we die, then you have to imagine that within that experience, there's going to be a continual death and birth cycle. And that's, in essence, in a way, you could say, like, disconnecting from the sacred, disconnecting from the divine, and trying to control it and trap it and make a system out of it and be like, yeah, we know what the life is. Try to fit into it. It's never going to hold. So we're just experiencing the eruptions, the explosions, the transformations that are just continue to happen around the world as a new earth births itself. And like every once in a while, just check in and be like, we're alright? We're still here? We're still alive? I think so. This is like so random, isn't it? This is probably the part of social media. Like, we reflect ourselves back to ourselves now. Be like, is this happening? This is real, right? Look, there you are. There, look, I can see you. I can see you. And like, and then there's like this next level interaction of like people from all over the world being like, hey, what up? And you're like, what up? We're meeting in frequency land, right? Like, internet is that pretty much. We're just like putting out signals and being like, what can we hear? So next level bridge, in a way, can really be recognized and experienced fully through technology. And at the same time, we must remember not to give power to it, because it is a creation. It's something as well that is coming up more and more in conversations is this idea that all creation is consciousness, which yes, it is. But unless we fully claim our creative control as the dominion, as sovereign beings, then of course our creations can have control over us, can create fear, can create, yeah, if we forget who we are, if we forget that we are the source of all there is. But of course, you know, fortunately from that pure love place, our ego will always kind of catch us out, or rather our higher self will always bombard through the arrogance, the ego stuff. It continues to happen in my own life. I'm continuing to have just increasingly humbling lessons around love, depth, integrity. And I'm blessed to be here. And I'm thankful for all of you, always. I have so much love. I only want to give the love, and I do my best. I do. And I wish so much love and compassion for all beings, you know, like, this is like all it's for. This whole random fucking journey has just been like, please, let's love each other more. I'm sure there's a way. I'm sure there's a way through all this random boundaries and world separation, bullshit, scary, fear. You're like, yeah, I'm sure there's a way through it, collectively speaking. But the more we shine, the more we put ourselves out there, the more it would appear there's other people who see it too. The new earth, born of the new paradigm, through a perspective shift and an evolutionary consciousness leap. Beautiful. It's fucking exquisite. It's just lovely. And like we can feel it. We're vibrating it. We can feel the up level. This recent portal has just, or even wave you could say, has just been a monumental, because loads of culminating patterns have just been completed. They've been completing over this last cycle, right? So they've been coming into completion in waves over this last few years that we've experienced as a timeline. But the more we're expanding into our kind of circular awareness and expanded awareness, that linearity dissolves, and then we're always just here now. Hello, in here now. Hello, and now we're here now. And now we're here now. So I think that's all I have to share with you today. I am driving back to London. I got more sessions, and then a little bit of a long weekend. I'm really excited about it. So you guys, I love you. Have an amazing day. And I look forward to speaking to you real soon, possibly for more November updates. I don't know, maybe, we will see. Don't forget to keep commenting and subscribing and sharing and letting me know if there's any topics you want me to cover from my weird and wonderful perspective. I love you guys. Have an awesome day, and I'll speak to you soon. Peace out.